Zow! So what is a film studio that is run from the fuel of philanthropy energy? Yeah! Welcome to the news. We will tell you at the end, so stick with us to the end, yeah. What we're trying to get at today is that in essence, we've got this thing called money, and it is an energy that is also known as monetary energy in essence, but it is kind of, in the long run and in the long term, it is somewhat useless, more or less in this world. It's kind of an old hat use of technology in essence. It's an energy form, but in essence, what we're trying to get at is something that is known as frequency architecture, more or less. That is the goal of Dink Tech Change for Game Studios, is we are a film studio. Yeah, so how we are trying to compartmentalize things is that in essence, film studios sort of make films, but in today's day and age, what we're trying to do is convert everything into the edutainment world, not the entertainment world. In essence, so things matter just a little bit more. Yeah, how we are trying to move towards convergence of philanthropy energy into the center place of focus, so that in essence, we're able to converge on the essence of entertainment and edutainment and converge our mindset and our energy and our productivity towards the essence of converging the essence of different philanthropies. So philanthropy energy has the ability to converge and be the focus, so that corresponding correlations are able to be the fuel for the corresponding engine, which resonates and corresponds to the development of the circular energy, which we're starting to try to develop more and more so as our Change for Game Studios process is able to continue to build energy more or less. So in essence, in the essence of meditation, in the state of meditation, in the purpose of meditation, in the process of meditation, what it fundamentally helps human beings to be able to try to develop and weave fabrics of frequencies together so that we're all able to increase and enhance the process of peace and the essence of positive frequency, philanthropy energy, frequency, so that in essence it is something that we're all able to do so that we're able to contribute our own counterparts into the global philanthropy energy grid, a global philanthropy energy wave pool consisting of different frequencies that correspond to the best asset energy within all human beings, for example. So in essence, what we have to do is, in essence, take a step back. It's necessary every single day to not just connect with a family, not just to connect with the neighborhood, not just to connect with the job community, not just to connect with the local community and or a city and or a state and or a country beyond a certain reason for a doubt, beyond a reasonable doubt. Nonetheless, it's necessary to take a step back and keep taking multiple steps back, step away from society, step away from parents, step away from family dynamics, more or less, anything in between, to be able to continue to take steps back, and continue to take steps back all the way into the forest. Continue to take your steps back so that in essence you end up alone and then you end up all the way into the forest, so that you're just surrounded by trees and you're surrounded by connecting items of that are connectivity in terms of cellular underground root network connections to nature, for example. And so upon doing this, it is in essence meant to develop the essences of frequencies, which is like frequency pools, which are able to resonate and be able to emanate from all aspects of the trees, from all aspects of life, from all aspects of nature, to be able to actually feel nature, because you yourself are frequency, because you as a human are a frequency, and all of us as humans are frequencies, more or less. And so every single day, all of the actions all around the world are corresponding and coalescing to every single human in the world, coalescing and corresponding into a global economy of frequencies, more or less. All of our actions resonate and correspond to a global resonation of continuous, consecutive, ongoing, continuous energies, more or less. So in essence, there is the ability to be able to influence this wave pool after all, and that is what we want to try to focus on in terms of trying to leverage media, old school, old hat media, in terms of developing convergence, more or less, in the essence of philanthropy energy, to be able to develop convergence pools for different philanthropy energy pools all around the world, to be able to develop frequencies and have an ability to be able to continue to try to pipeline all these different philanthropy energy pools together, so that all philanthropies are working together as one, kind of, more or less, in essence, but also we're breaking down the walls and the barriers between countries, so that in essence we're able to work together on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis, so that in essence every single buddy in the world is working together to make the global philanthropy energy grid, as we're more or less being architects for philanthropy energy by being part of this grander process, in essence, by being able to leverage content creation, by being able to leverage personal branding, but at the same time being able to step back into the meditation realm and be able to look from a space view onto planet Earth. So in essence, you've got the ability to be able to start to see frequencies all around the Earth, flowing and floating around the Earth, and this corresponds to global philanthropy energy. This corresponds to the giving energy that corresponds to asset energy, which is flowing around all of humanity, all around the world, all around the earth, which corresponds to people being nice to people, which corresponds to people being positive for other people and people looking out for other people that help to build society, helps to build up continuous asset energy, which is a building energy, which continues to help cities get better, technology get better, processes improve, and dynamics that are enhanced between different economies, different societies, and different cultures, and different politics, between different governments and different governing states, and systems and systematization between one country to another that flows from one country to another in essence. And this has the ability to correspond to the whole globe and also to be able to help to develop a global philanthropy energy grid. And also a way that we're able to try to pipeline this into personal branding in essence is something that is inspired by someone known as, I will remember her name, whatever. The point being is that what we are meant to do is to be able to try to develop pipelines for people's attention, to be able to get their attention in the first 3 seconds, basically to start to be able to make content, and to also be able to develop a pipeline of their attention all the way until the end of the video, just sort of like this podcast is trying to do and emulate something that is stimulating in the very first 3 seconds of a podcast, which develops an itch that is necessary to scratch all the way at the end of the content. So in essence, in the middle of the video, just like in this whole podcast, it's sort of supposed to be trying to hold suspense through this whole middle of this podcast, so that in essence, at the end of the suspense, we're able to answer the question that's at the beginning of the podcast, so that in essence, all the important personal brands that are able to help converge personal philanthropy energy, philanthropic global pools of energy from different philanthropies, for example, but also people that have it within themselves to improve the philanthropy energy grid, to all converge and make convergence out of all this energy, to be able to flow it together into a giant wave pool of energy, wave frequency pool of asset positive energy, to start to develop the global philanthropy energy grid. And nonetheless, once we get this formula right, which we're trying to be able to align with based on a creator who was inspired by today, whose name I'm having a hard time remembering, it's the point being is that it is in essence purposeful to be able to develop a frequency connection and connectivity from yourself as the personal brand, to be able to have the retention, be able to have the suspense draw from the start point, where you get the ability to have someone be surprised, amused, and stop scrolling whatever they're scrolling on, in essence, to focus on your content because you have something audacious, outlandish, or very peculiar to be able to make their attention stop, and then watch the first 3 seconds, watch the first 6 seconds to be able to get 90% through 6 seconds, most of the audience, so that in essence, you have the ability to start them down the lane, to be able to start the electricity, more frequency, higher frequency of value adding, to hold suspense until basically the payoff of answering the question at the end, to be able to hold that connection, so that in essence develops frequency of a pipeline of external audiences, to be able to have external audience energy and eyeballs energy that corresponds to electricity, which corresponds and pipelines directly into your brand, and it goes through that retention line. And ultimately, you can do A/B testing online for different aspects of the video, and for sometimes people's attention will fall off in a great numbers in certain aspects, and you can do A/B testing to be able to try to develop a continuous, complete, connected line all the way through until yourself, so that they finish the video, and so that retention increases and the awareness for your brand can continue to grow. But that hook in the very beginning is meant to be very important, that people get through 90% of the video within six seconds of the video, in essence, to be able to start the journey, to be able to stay suspended, to be able to get that question answered at the end of the video, only last 3 seconds to be able to end the video, basically to be able to try to continue to develop information, edutainment content, to be able to help develop and grow personal brands, in essence, to be able to help to flow all the personal brand philanthropy energy into convergence, into philanthropy pools of philanthropy energy, to be able to help be able to have us be able to eventually build what we're talking about, not only by continuing to promote the essence of everybody stepping backwards into the forest, to be able to leverage meditation, so that everybody is able to think for themselves, and they all develop unique, like a snowflake, unique aspects of patches for global philanthropy energy. And we're basically are all architecting philanthropy energy patches by being able to step out and be able to acknowledge the uniqueness of every single human in the world, by stepping into the forest and seeing the world from a bird's view, so that in essence we have the ability to be able to look at the whole world like patches of flowing frequencies, and look at every single person in the world, and look at the trends, and look at how everything occurs in the whole world, and the flowing fabric of the nature of all the frequencies flowing around the whole entire world, by stepping into the forest and looking at the world from this alone standpoint, not being influenced by anybody in a derogatory sense, or in any sense, not being distracted, not learning any wrong wrong answers, and just figuring out based on feeling the frequencies that are needed, that are necessary, that the earth is calling out for, that are the holes and the patches of the problems all around the world, and being able to converge and add value and be able to develop an infotainment and an edutainment brand to be able to try to patch those holes, in essence, by developing your own personal brand and developing awareness through this process, through this ability to be able to get people in an external world through the internet, to be able to pipeline their eyeballs onto you directly by focusing on retention, to get your message across to people by hooking their attention in the first 3 or to 6 seconds, in essence, to be able to have something audacious, outlandish, to be able to hold their attention for 95% of the first 6 seconds, and then to hold that question from the very beginning into suspense world into the end of the video, and then answer the question, answer the suspense, basically whatever the payoff or the purpose of the video was in the question in the beginning, at the very end, basically to hold their attention the whole way through, more or less, is the hopeful goal for all these personal brands to be able to help to develop and flow philanthropy energy, philanthropy energy all together. And the pipeline, the kicker, the purpose of this video, which is the answer to the question that I asked in the very beginning, is how are we going to make a film studio basically based on and fueled by philanthropy energy? And the answer is by architecting it, by everybody being able to become architects, and at the same time being actually able to fuel film deals in a similar fashion that film studios have always used, because film studios are basically dot connectors. Film studios have always been connectors of different dots, of different packages, to be able to bring together money and then creative people to be able to create, basically. But that's what the goal of Dink Tech and Change for Game Studios is, basically is we're leveraging philanthropy energy as opposed to monetary energy like traditional studios that use entertainment purposes only, and we're focused on the edutainment world, and also leveraging philanthropy energy to fuel our process, in essence, by making everybody into architects, trying to focus on developing the world as architects, as we just mentioned, by stepping into the forest and looking into the whole fabric of society and leveraging the ability to be able to architect frequencies, and then therefore that ability to be able to leverage the focus on philanthropy frequency energy, and finding the patches around the world. That creates a personal brand, and that in essence develops the way that you see the ability to find value for the world, to be able to develop those patches of frequency, and by focusing on ways to develop something which is much more powerful than monetary energy, much more powerful than money energy, which is philanthropy energy architecting crosshatches of varying philanthropy energy frequencies, by frequency architecting frequencies that we're able to develop deals as a film industry by representing different folks and different strokes for different folks in the edutainment world, which are basically trying to develop different convergence for architecting different frequency philanthropy energies all around the world, to be able to patch the holes around the world, to be able to get every single human being to be able to get along with each other eventually, and bring down borders for every single country, so every single country is able to get along with each other, but leveraging the ability for these deal-making structures that have corresponded to film studios in the past, to be able to leverage philanthropy energy to be able to mend all of these deals and to architect frequencies around the whole entire world, to be able to bring every single person in the whole world together, to be able to improve the relationships and the dynamics and the fulfillment and the nourishment and the vitality of every single human being in the world, because our system flow and our ability to architect frequency energy, philanthropy frequency energy within every single human being in the world, and trying to be able to acknowledge every single country in the whole world, not just niches, not just specific places, but every single square foot of the whole entire world, to be able to improve the quality of animal lives and human lives for every single human in the world, is a frequency energy architecting deal-making process game corresponding to the fabric of weaving the new fabric of philanthropy frequency energy and flowing that pool of energy between animals and humans to be able to flow together and swim together in these frequencies, in positive growth, frequency, direction, trajectory, nature, developing, dwelling, positive direction, enhancement processes that we're trying to be able to leverage in our film studio development process, in our global philanthropy energy business music film studio development process. Whoa, because this is something that money can't even buy. This is something that is more powerful than money. This is something that money cannot even buy. This is something that money cannot even buy. Thanks again. Bye, Dink Tech. Bye, peace, bye. Dink Tech, Change for Games. Dink Tech, Change for Game Studios. Bye, peace, bye.